Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by Genesis House, FirstNet, built with AT&T, and the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts,
Podfather, Jersey Ed,
and Noontime with Skylar Noon,
as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your friends in recovery.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Friends in Recovery Podcast.com. I am the Podfather, Mike Miles, and I'm here today with my good friends.
Hi, guys. Jersey Ed here.
And it's Noontime with Sky.
Noontime with Sky. My good friends in recovery.
Yeah.
Jersey Ed,
Friends in recovery,
Noontime with
yeah.
Skylar.
Yes.
How's
Sky,
everybody doing?
Good. Podfather, how are you?
I'm doing
Well,
well.
even though I know
Skylar?
how you're doing because I just seen you the other day, Podfather. So.
Yep, that's right. You're up here in Massachusetts.
In the snow.
Snowing, yeah. We had 3 inches.
April snow.
April 16th.
Yes, it's crazy. Skylar, me and the Podfather did the best FIR from the car yesterday, 2 days ago. The best. It was
awesome.
Oh no! What? Yeah, it was FIR from the car. Yeah, we had a great guest on. You guys will have to go back and see. It's the show before this because it's a bonus episode. So look for FIR from the car in the bonus episode. And when are you coming up, Sky?
I want to plan a trip. Let's do it.
Yes.
I'll check it out. Not when it's snowing though, but you know.
I'll give you a nice tour of Lowell, Massachusetts.
I would love that.
And I'll take you to the best Greek restaurant you've ever laid your eyes on.
Okay. The Bridge Club. I got some alumni up there.
That's right. The Bridge Club, guys.
Yeah.
That's it. But Podfather, quick question before we begin. We bring in our guest, Shanon Deyerle. I'll explain who she is in a minute. But when we do FIR from the car, all three of us, who gets the back seat? I want to know. You, me, or Skylar?
Oh, you'd definitely be in the back.
I don't know. This hippie's probably going to want us to all sit up front. Well, come on.
Yeah,
ladies first.
God, I was sitting here like this in a front seat. So
right.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, check out FIR from the car. I think there's 3 or 4 bonus episodes.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Everybody loves them. Yeah. The FIR from the car is great. Real quick, before we bring in Shanon Deyerle, I want to give everybody some phone numbers. I want to tell everybody to like and subscribe to everything on Podbean, whatever you guys are getting us on. Make sure you like and subscribe us because that's important because that will get our show out there and it'll give us more attention. It'll get more of this word out about recovery. Also, if you want to call the Podfather and talk to him personally, this is not the number to do it on, but call anyways, and I'll get a message over to him, 617-379-1163. Or if you want to send us an email with also with your sober date, we'll do some sober shout outs for everybody. Help at friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. Keep those coming. I'm compiling a bunch of them, and I will read them out pretty soon. And Skylar, what about some of the social media stuff? You want to go over that, and then we'll bring in Shanon.
Yeah. So on the Genesis House Facebook page, there's groups. There's 2 separate groups, one for the alumni and one for the Friends in Recovery community of support. We post all types of announcements in there and different activities and events. So, and then there's also a Friends in Recovery Adventures page as well. And that is a group too. So that's all attached to the Genesis House page.
Yeah. What's going on?
So check it all out. We got a lot of adventures coming up. Podfather, I think Podfather is going on a 125-mile kayak trip with us.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that.
He's going to be doing that, and we got other things going on. And if you want to get an adventure and you wherever part of the United States are in, please email us, and we will help you put together some adventures. They're going really well. We got a bunch of stuff going on, and the other thing, you can go to genesishouse.net. And under the community, I believe it is, you'll see everything about Friends in Recovery from our meetings, 2 meetings a day, 7 days a week, and all the other good stuff that we do on there. So if not, just give me a call and I'll give you everything that we need. So I want to bring in the guest in. Shanon Deyerle. I have her bio here somewhere, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to attempt to read it. Okay. Welcome to the show, Shanon.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Shannon's a mother. Shannon's a mother of 4 teenagers, holds a master's degree in counseling and just completed her training program to become a Journey Catalyst coach. She has been married to her husband of 24 years, who has been in recovery 10 years. She's passing her life experiencing learn, accept, and love themselves fully. She believes in the how do you pronounce that? Whatever, power, place, and purpose of you're gonna have to explain that to me. Can be found online at powerplacepurpose.com. That will be all in the that'll be all in the notes. But her website is powerplacepurpose.com. Shanon, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ed. It's good to be here. And I don't know if it's my service or yours, but you cut out a little bit in there for me. So, tell me if I'm not coming through clear.
You're
obviously.
fine. You're loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, good. I'm glad to be here. I'm coming from a world of mental health, people finding what they need in the world to become their truest, best selves, take all the masks off, just show up as you, because you are worthy just as you are. And walked the path in the world of addiction as the spouse of someone who's an alcoholic, who's I'm fortunate today to say is in recovery for over 10 years now. But I learned a whole lot and had to change a whole lot as he was learning and changing too. So I'm glad to be here to talk about what that is and what that means, and kind of take the mystery away, because it's as much about us as a partner and the friends and family learning as it is about the person who's got the addiction.
Yes.
Shanon,
and the disease.
Okay, Papa.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a quick question. I think it's amazing when there's a couple that are together and one of them has an addiction and they're sober for a long time. How about yourself? Did you ever go to al-anon, or how did you adjust and cope with that addiction? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I went to al-anon. It was instrumental for me in understanding the role I had to play for myself, so that I could then allow him to walk his path. Because what I learned was, even though I didn't think I was part of the pattern and part of what made his drinking work, I was. And from the minute you walk into those rooms and you hear, we're not here to talk about you're alcoholic, we're here to talk about you. It's like, oh shit, well, that wasn't what I was thinking we were going to do. So yeah.
I like what you said, Shanon. What made his drinking work? Can you talk a little bit more about that? That is such a profound statement for addicts and alcoholics and their loved ones, because without you doing okay to make his drinking work, our drinking doesn't work. And that's when sometimes the heat gets put on. That's when sometimes the fights go. So talk a little bit about that, and maybe people can identify with that, and then maybe share how you got through, not how to make his drinking work, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. And stop me if I go, if I wander too much. People talk about these words like enabling and codependency. There's all those labels. I had heard those and I really didn't think they applied to me. It wasn't until I started doing my work and my recovery from those things that I understood I was. And so what I mean by that is, my behavior allowed his drinking to work. And my behavior was, I had the red flags, right? But I didn't ask the second, third, and fourth question. Or when I did ask the second, third, and fourth question, like, why did you miss your flight? Right? It wasn't just that you overslept. You were drinking. I was too afraid to ask the second, third, and fourth questions for a lot of different reasons at a lot of different times. Sometimes it was that I didn't want to know the truth, right? Sometimes it was that I didn't want to start a fight. Sometimes it was that I didn't know what answer I was going to get. And just that uncertainty in and of itself was too scary to open the door to. So that allowed him to just keep doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. The other part of it, I think, so that's like the outward behavior, but I think the other part of it that's like, I think what a family or a friend does is we just, I can only really speak for me. I just, I never quite had the boundary clear enough between him and me to where I said, if you do this again, I'm not going to show up for you anymore. That's kind of like a really rough way of saying it. I probably wouldn't have said it like that until it got really, really bad, which I had to. But just sort of that, like, it's okay, I'm here for you, I'm here to help you. That mindset actually takes away his ability to help himself. And takes the ability away for him to see what his behavior is actually really doing to me, to his family, to the people he works with, all of it. And so when I stopped doing that, when I went to al-anon and I learned to listen to me and take care of me, that allowed me to say, time out. Like, this is, do you see, I see what you're doing now more clearly, and I'm not saying nothing about it anymore. And the important thing I think about that is, like, it's not going in and saying, you can't do this anymore. I'm going to rescue you. I'm sending you to rehab. I'm doing this. It's like me saying, you know what? It's yours. It's not mine to fix. It's not mine to make okay. It's not mine to explain to anybody anymore. It's fully yours. Hands off, with love. Right? That idea of like detaching with empathy, that was huge for me.
Did you find now that you have 10 years of sobriety, that's wonderful, God bless.
Yeah. Thank you.
But did you find that a lot of your behavior was enabling your husband to just not have to tell you like why he missed his flight, because you knew that was going to turn into an argument, or you just didn't want to go down that road for many reasons, but that's part of enabling, So in other words, I think people don't understand that, especially the spouse or love or significant other or child of an alcoholic or a drug addict, is that they have a role to play as well. And they, like yourself, like most of us, we want to be loving and supportive, but we also know that we don't want to trigger anger. We don't want to make it worse, so we accept it. And I guess, did you find that you stopped enabling immediately from going to al-anon and getting some tools?
No, it was a process. And I think all of us in those rooms who really got it were the people who said, I'm recovering, as much as my partner who's got a disease is recovering. It takes a while to understand what you're actually doing that's harming the person and that's keeping them sick. It's like giving a pack of cigarettes to someone who's got lung cancer. You're just sort of like, you're not being as helpful as you think you are. And you've got to give it back to them. Go ahead.
Sometimes when you're in it, you don't see it. You don't understand it. It was your role for years and years and years. And it's hard to give it up. It's very hard to give it up. And I like Podfather. That was a good question, actually, because we as addicts, most people that listen on this show, except for Skylar's mom. Hi, Mom. She's most of us are in recovery, but Skylar's mom is very active in al-anon, and very active in Skylar's recovery too. But most of the people don't understand that it's a process for the loved ones also. That it's a process for the loved ones to back away and say, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And as an addict and alcoholic, when you do that to me, I think you're pissed off at me. You're not giving me what you want. I'm gonna become a fucking baby. I'm not getting what I want. And you know what? I'm gonna divorce you. And that's what happens. That's how we see it. But you have to see it, if you're struggling with it, as your loved one getting help, as your loved one helping themselves, so you don't do what you're doing anymore. And the enabling still can go deep into a recovery person's life also. Did you experience that, or did you just stop it and that was it? Or did you enable a little bit once he got sober, because he's sober now and I'll help him do this or help him do that? Because that happens also.
Yeah, I absolutely did. It was like, I think a lot of people talk about this. You kind of replace one label with another label, right? All those isms, right? Like, so we had like drinking, like we had the alcoholism. Well, he stopped drinking. I stopped being like enabling, but then he started working like a crazy amount of hours. And I facilitated that because I was like, well, that's healthier than drinking. Oh, sure, you can go on that business trip. Sure, I'll cover 12 carpools at once. Sure, like, 4 kids. I was like, sure. So yes, it's a process, and every day I have to be honest about it. I have to be honest with myself about what I should be saying yes to and what I don't have to say yes to.
Yeah. Shannon, we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about what you're doing now and how the healing is going and where you're at, and some of the good stuff in life that you're doing, and how you and I actually got together too, how we were able to do this wonderful show. So
sounds great.
Podfather, go ahead.
Yep. friendsofrecoverypodcast.com. We'll be right back.
You're first. First to respond. First to put others' lives before your own. And in an emergency, you need a network that puts you first, that connects you to technology, to each other, and to other agencies. Built with and for first responders. FirstNet, the only congressionally authorized wireless network for first responders. Because putting you first is our job.
Since 1992, Genesis House has been helping real people heal from addiction on their private recovery campus in beautiful Palm Beach County, Florida. Their family-owned program is accredited by the Joint Commission and offers detox and dual diagnosis treatment in a comfortable and confidential setting. At Genesis House, they focus on treating the underlying causes of addiction. Their comprehensive approach includes psychiatric care, individual and small group therapy, trauma healing techniques, and holistic care including yoga, massage, and animal-assisted therapy. After treatment, their clients enjoy the lifelong support of a nationwide network of Genesis House alumni. Call Genesis House today at 1-800-737-0933 to speak with someone who understands. Visit them on the web at www.genesishouse.net. It's time to start your journey to a long and successful recovery.
Everybody, welcome back. friendsofrecoverypodcast.com. I am the Podfather, Mike Miles.
Jersey guys, how's it going?
And it's noontime with Sky.
And yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Shanon
Hi, everybody.
Deyerle. Shannon, before we bring you back, guys, you know what time it is, right? Do you know what time it is, Podfather? Hold on. Do you know what time it is, Podfather?
I can see the glit in your eyes, which scares me. Sober pod.
It is sober pod time, guys. Yeah,
time to smooch pod. Everybody.
I want to thank Smooch, yes, Carl, Ellen, Steve, and Chelsea over on the left coast. I want to say hello to you guys. They have a wonderful show out there. They help us out with our show. They dearly love us, and we give the love back. So their show's a little different. They don't interview too many people, like I always tell everybody. But go listen to it. The cool thing, Shannon, your husband, this might be good for your husband. 2 years ago, they did a full year of the steps. January of step 1, February of step 2. They did the whole thing. So guys, go take a look, listen to it. That's when I started listening to them, and it was really good show. And I listen to them religiously every week. So Carl, Ellen, Chelsea, and Steve, we love you guys, and back to your regularly scheduled show, Friends in Recovery podcast. So, so before the break, we were talking to Shanon about some of her things that she's been going through, or she went through with her husband's recovery. Shanon, do you want to give your husband a shout out with his? You want to be our first shout out?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. I'm trying to get the sun out of the way.
I see that.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah.
Give him a
shout out. Yeah, shout out to my husband Jeff, who chose over 10 years ago, right before Christmas, to get sober and stay sober. He had tried before, and he relapsed twice, and he has really shown the world and himself, most importantly, that he deserves and can be the person he wants to be. So
great.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a lot of hard work. So
yes.
Shanon and my paths were crossed through through Journey coaching, life coaching. I joined this life coaching thing over this summer, and I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. I am now certified life coach, guys. I am also certified fucked up too, but I am a certified life coach. Okay. And Podfather can vouch for that. But Jen and I came across each other in this class of 25 people, I think. And we got paired up and we just hit it off. Her and I just hit it off. And we helped each other in the coaching class. We still stay in touch now. The coaching class has been over for a while, and we still kind of help each other out and really kind of connect with each other. And then I found out through talking a little bit that her husband's in recovery and she works an al-anon program. And I was like, you got to come on our show. So if anybody's wondering what the link here was, is that's how it was. And Shanon, tell us about Journey coaching and what you're doing with it, and why did you kind of take that route, to go into coaching, and what you do as far as a coach.
Yeah, well, thanks for that opportunity. And that I have loved having you as part of this journey experience for me. You're the best. And I grew up in Jersey, so I love my Jersey Ed. I'm like,
there you go.
Need my dose of Jersey. So I basically, I got my master's in counseling, and then I had my first baby, and I was like, I'll go back and get licensed and be a therapist. And then I had triplets, and
oh my god,
that tends to like derail the back to work plan.
Yeah, there was that.
Yeah, there was that. So I channeled. Thank you. Sad. And they're awesome, and they're like 16 now, and my daughter's 18, and she's in college, and like, so at a certain point I was like, perhaps licensure is not the path for me. I don't have money laying around and I don't have time, but I still really want to help people. And I feel like, we all have life experiences that have taught us, right? And that have given us empathy for different sort of specializations of experiences, right? And so I found Journey, and I was like, that's it, I'm doing it. So my coaching is about helping people really learn to love themselves. We all have power. We all have worth. It was given to us by the universe when we were decided to be made. And no matter what we've walked through, no matter what the world tells us we are or aren't supposed to be, we know best. And sometimes we get mixed up. Sometimes things happen to us that make us believe other than that. But I'm here to remind you and to help you see that. And if I can do that, it is a huge blessing in my life.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's my goal. And I think a lot of us, whether or not we're dealing with people who are in recovery or active in an addiction or anything, a lot of us grow up with learning some lessons that teach us to be codependent or to be enabling or to be perfectionist or, lose who we are. And so I think this all connects for a lot of people in a lot of ways. So that
certainly does. I do a lot of, I'm a clinical social worker, master's in social, but I do, my passion is recovery. So I'm also a licensed alcohol drug counselor. But once in a very, a blue moon, I guess, I do get a client who doesn't have an addiction, which I had this morning, 23-year-old male, who has self-esteem problems. He's got a few issues, but no self-esteem. And, I kind of gave him a pep talk this morning, very similar to what you just said about, we're here to enjoy our lives too, and not worry about what people think, how we look, how we act, and, he sent me a nice message after we left, which I thought for a 23-year-old young man to send me a message afterwards, I must have hit something, and it's just a second visit, so it's nice listening to someone who does this professionally almost reiterate exactly what I was talking to him about this morning.
Yeah. I'm glad you were there for him. Yeah. We all need to know and hear that. I think it's easy to forget. The world isn't built to remind us of those things.
That's
Right?
true.
That's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shannon, I have the lovely experience to work with you still, as far as my life coach. And I know I have to book an appointment with you, and I know I cancel once in a while, and I know we work on
It's
that.
okay. It's all right.
And she still stands by me. So,
Of
but
course.
in life coaching, how does life coaching fit in with al-anon and recovery? I mean, I know I have that answer, but in your eyes as a life coach, how do you bring that in? Say even somebody like me, where and you can divulge some of my secrets. I don't care. There's really nothing there to hide. I tell them on here anyways. But how how does that work with an addict, alcoholic? To fit life coaching in? Well, how can that take? How can that help them?
That's a great question, and I would love for you to pipe in if I leave something out. But I really think, there's a big question in the world of like, what's therapy versus what's coaching. Therapy is going to give you the opportunity to dig deep into your past, examine that stuff, work through it, kind of let it go, right? Life coaching is going to take you from that point forward. And if you've committed or you're working on your recovery, I think coaching can fit in to say, like, look, let's acknowledge how great you are right now. You're here, right? You're standing, you're working your program. If you're not working your program, let's talk about that. But you're working your program, you've got your sponsor, you've got that happening. So let's start rebuilding, right? You've got this wreckage. Do you need to deal with that? Have you dealt with that? What's the stories you're telling in your head about who you are? Can we work on those stories? Are they really true? Are you, and Ed, you and I have talked about this, the old Ed, right? Living as the old Ed versus living as the real Ed.
Yes, that is true. That is true. We Shannon and I always talk about the imposter syndrome, not thinking who we are, because I did have a struggle with the life coaching, like, well, what do I know? And she told me flat out, this is what you know. She goes, this is what what's going on. And and that, I'm telling you guys, just by her, and I've been in recovery a long time. You guys know on this show how long I've been in recovery. That took me up 10 notches, just what she said. Now I can see it and feel it. Somebody else believed it. You know what I mean? Somebody else seen it from the outside. Because sometimes when we're inside looking out, we're like, yeah, I ain't that person. I ain't that good. I'm just getting by. I'll skate by. Even though I do have this much time in recovery, we all can use a life coach, no doubt about it, hands down. So yes, Shannon, absolutely, hands down. The other thing it does, it keeps us accountable too. Accountability is huge in life coaching, and as far as as recovery goes, or anything, even if you're a CEO, or if you're just an everyday mom and dad, not even in recovery, life coaching is wonderful. So Skylar, I want to ask you a question. I want to go back to your al-anon, Shannon, and I want to ask Skylar a question and maybe tie this all together. Skylar, your mom was hugely involved. We know that because she was on one of our shows. If you guys look back on some of our shows in earlier days, Skylar and Mom were on, and they talked about exactly what we're talking about on here. And how do you see what Shannon's talking about at the beginning of the show now that you're in recovery versus what I was talking about being a pain in the ass and keep me accountable and not putting up with my shit and not giving me what I want, Sky? How does that,
It's so crazy too that you asked that, is that my mom actually just called me this morning and she said, Skylar, I just want to tell you, thanks for being such a nice person. I'm like, where's this coming from? Hold up. I'm like, just like her, like, what do you want? You know what I mean? she has that instilled in her. When I call her, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, why? Because she thinks I'm up to she's still over 12 years later, she still does that. It's so funny. Honestly, I think that with family members, and I could be wrong, but I mean, having a brother and a significant other in recovery as well, I think that as family members, for me, I got to a point, just like I think I saw my mom get to, you get to the same place of desperation that the addict does, because it's like, you can't live with this person, but you can't live without him. But yet then you think about not wanting to live at all. And then you're like, well, no, I got to do something different, And I think that's kind of what my mom happened, because I think I had maybe 7 years clean and she was like feeling miserable, thinking like, why aren't I feeling good like she is? But that's because I was doing step work. She didn't realize, like, she kind of thought once I put this stuff down, things were going to get better. I always think about a rock that goes into a water and the ripple that goes around it. And like, that's like the family. It's like all around. We're all touched by that one drug that one person takes, that drop of the rock, So, but I think it's like the same desperation we get as addicts almost, it's like you have to surrender, the control.
Well said. Well said.
Right?
Very well said.
Yeah. And Podfather, how about you? Because you've experienced the other end of things, just like myself too, with a family member. How did you deal with that? As Shanon was explaining earlier too. I think what Shanon explained earlier, her life all hit a chord with us, because I was watching everybody's face and it touched us all as we were going through it, either one way or the other. But Podfather, you had a loved one in treatment, and how did you feel about that, and what were you thinking?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than not being able to see something so profound, something that's so concrete. Especially, I had well over 25 years of sobriety at the time, and I'm active. I'm a drug counselor, but it was a panic for me. It was almost, I felt responsible. I felt, definitely I neglected somewhere along the line. But for that individual to get back on track 4 years later, and to be going in the direction, it's almost like, for me, it's a spiritual thing. For me, it's all my prayers were answered. I still ask every day. I still thank every day. I do everything I was told to do 34 years ago, but I had never been involved with al-anon until that time. And now I know so much more, but there's still always that little bit of doubt, not doubt, but panic, I guess, anxiety that comes back once in a while, because you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I think it's a real gift to be able to look around and see other people get well. But when it's someone you love with every being in your body, it's a different ball game.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
Yeah. And Podfather, what I always say about the other shoe dropping, other shoe is always going to drop. And I just want to get this out there, and I want to turn it over to Shanon a little bit more about what's her how we can get a hold of her. But when the other shoe drops, what I say to myself, when the other shoe drops, I'll readjust, pick it up, and make it happen even better. And so and this is what Shanon taught me when I do my coaching with her, is that things are going to happen, shit's going to happen in life, and so I came up with this affirmation: if the other shoe drops, I'll readjust, pick it up, and make it happen even better. Because you know what? I know the shoe is going to drop, guys. It's going to happen. And I'm not saying specifically things, but we're going to have ups and downs in our lives. And that's what Shanon was able to kind of show me in the coaching. And, you figure I'm in this thing, God knows how many years, 27 years in recovery, but you sit down with another person's perspective, and they change your world, absolutely. So, but Shanon, a little bit about which way you're going with life coaching, and how we can get a hold of you, and phone numbers and websites and all that. your
Wow.
specific kind of what you're doing.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, I know.
You
Well,
got 2
first,
minutes. No,
can
I'm
I?
just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No pressure. It's like I'm on the
No,
Academy
no.
Awards stage and they're playing the music.
Get the hook,
No.
guys.
Yeah. Right. First, like I just want to say, like I think fear is a huge. And Mike, you said it. That panic, right? And Sky, you said it. That desperation. Okay, like if you're, I just want to say, like outright, if you're feeling that as a loved one, that's okay. Like that's part of it. We have to surrender as much as anyone else who's trying to change. And that's really scary, but that's where the freedom is. That's where the growth happens. We have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So that being said, just if you can be scared and do it anyway. That's okay. That's okay. And for me, that was the gift. So, and that's the gift I want to pass on. That's why I'm here on this earth. So, and if people want to get a hold of me, they can, I'm all over the place. I have a website. It's called powerplacepurpose.com. All 3 words put together, powerplacepurpose.com. They can find me on Instagram. Same idea, but just periods in between, power.place.purpose. That's my handle. And what else? Where else would they find me?
Facebook, are you on?
I'm on Facebook. I'm just Power Place Purpose on Facebook. Yeah, go ahead.
Good. No, I can I talk about something you posted on Facebook today before we close?
Oh, sure. Uh-oh. What are you gonna say?
The picture you posted. Can I talk about that or no?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
That was amazing. You should see this picture, guys, from just a couple months ago, correct? Was that just a couple months ago or was that New Year's Eve? Okay. Shanon, the amazing transformation that happened with her for what, 3 months? She's lost weight. She looks so much happier. I've seen you throughout the months and everything. And now looking at you versus seeing that picture, I'm like, oh my God, there is a lot behind this. So what was that? Was it the life coaching? Was it, are you happier with things? Because now, you got I shouldn't say you got a purpose, but you're got a direction now. And, what was that? I mean, that picture was unbelievable. It really was.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's funny. You don't realize how lost you are until you find yourself again. And, I think it was just the magic of a lot of things happening all together at the right time. I started getting sick on myself at the same time as I started reaching out to fulfill my purpose. I've always known I'm a helper, right? I went to grad school. I finished 20 years ago. I know I'm supposed to do this stuff. But I let everybody else's needs come before mine. Right. And so this is also part of that whole idea of being a partner of or a family member of someone who's got a disease. We take care of everyone else before we take care of ourselves. And just all of that together, I said, I'm sick of this. My eyes got more open to what was possible when we started Journey. And then I just started opening the doors to me. New Year's Eve, that picture, woof. I was like a shadow of myself, and we all deserve to really be our, to be fully ourselves. So so I'm happy. I'm proud that I listened to me. I think that's the key. We listen to the true us.
Yeah.
And then anything is possible.
Yes. Anything is possible. You're right, Shanon. And thank you so much, Shanon. It's a pleasure. Please look Shanon up. Give her a call. Find her on all the web pages and all that, and all the information in the show notes. I can tell you she is a wonderful coach. Podfather just texted me. He asked me for your phone number so he can get some life coaching. I'm just kidding. But please, I'm sure he will be calling me for it. But please, it definitely enhances everything. Give Shanon a call. It's just amazing. And Thanks for being a guest with us, Shannon. We really
Thank you,
appreciate
Shannon.
it. Tell your cousin
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's
you.
good to be with you all. Thank you for this
Thanks.
for this
Yeah.
experience and the work you do to help people. It's really important.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And back at
Well,
you.
So guys, Shannon, thank you so much, and you know, for everything you've done and everything you're kind of doing for us, and we definitely want to have you back on the show, and we'll get you know, we'll figure out where you're at later on in life, and we'll even maybe we can have Shannon as speaker on the loved ones group Monday nights at 8 o'clock that Stacy runs for
That'd be great.
the loved ones, for al-anon. So we're
I'd be
going to
happy
keep you in the loop with that. Good. All right.
Please do.
Podfather, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, Friends in Recovery
Bye,
podcast. Stay sober, everyone.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Thanks to Genesis House, FirstNet, built with AT&T, for supporting those on the path to recovery and keeping this valuable resource free for all our friends in recovery. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Brought to you by Genesis House and the Friends in Recovery. If you can't get enough of Mike, the Podfather, Jersey Ed, and Skylar, you can catch them on Answering the Call, the First Responders Podcast, available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and GenesisHouse.net.